Peep Show is one of my favourite TV shows, and to other Brits has been quoted as the best sitcom in years. Practically everything in the show is funny in some way, from the things the character says, whether it's a reaction to a certain event, or just other things they say in general, is mostly funny in some sort of way. And the things they say which aren't funny are mainly due to the things they are saying being really subtle and obscure, so not everyone will get what the characters are saying. The most loved scenes, which are highly rated in comedy, are the ones which utilises both the elements of reactions and what they are saying. Take this popular, if not the most popular comedic scene on the show, where the character Mark overreacts because he believes his roommate Jeremy hasn't brought turkey for Christmas dinner.
Where's the turkey, Jeremy?
What?
The turkey, where's the turkey?
I thought you were getting the turkey.
You what? No turkey? You fucking idiot, Jeremy! You total fucking idiot! That was your job, you fucking moron! You cretin! You're a fuckhead! That's what you are! A fucking shithead!
Now to most British people, that scene is funny, no matter how many times you watch it. Why? Well, you may notice the camera zooms into the characters' faces midway through his outburst on Jeremy. This is because it really wants the viewer to feel somewhat connected to the character, and in this case Mark, whilst he is having his outburst. It also has a zoomed in effect on Jeremy too, to really engage the viewer and make the viewer feel really related to what Jeremy is going through. For example, being shouted at. The show doesn't finish there though with the funny Jeremy being shouted at scene. It also adds onto it with a slight awkward tension twist, making it even more funny.
It was a joke, Mark. I was joking. It was a Christmas joke.
And you may also notice there are pauses in people's speech like Mark's, which is likely because Mark is thinking about how he messed up by shouting at Jeremy. Another thing to note is that Mark stutters every time he feels bad or awkward. The characters, in most cases Mark, do something completely idiotic, which does happen to some people, and maybe a similar situation has happened to you. Likely not as often as that happens to people in the show, because the creators of the show push it to an extreme, but for example, not even 2 minutes into the first ever episode of Peep Show, the character Mark messes up by putting his hand underneath his friend Sophie's. He doesn't realise. And yeah, he could have avoided the really awkward moment, which occurs a few seconds after when she finds out his hand is underneath her. He could have just said, "You're sitting on my hand," and yeah, maybe the situation would be a little bit awkward, but she would feel more guilty because she sat on his hand, and it doesn't seem like he put his hand underneath her on purpose. The slight fuck-ups in relationships between two or more characters really want you to rewind time and make everything better, but you can't, which really makes it relatable and close to the viewer. Comedy like this is very prominent throughout the show, which helps keep each episode nice and fresh. The show also utilises mice and scene which viewers which are British may have heard of, or ate before. For example, a very loved crisp company known as Frazzles.
Chipsticks or frazzles? Chipsticks? Or frazzles?
I remember watching an episode whilst eating Frazzles, and he appeared on the show at the same time, which really enforces the connectivity between the viewer and the show, not just the characters. The show also utilises a point of view style where the characters are sometimes the narrator, and a voice is played over, simulating a thought process. For example, buying things from the shops. And this point of view style makes it feel true to life and relatable to the viewer. If the show was recorded with really fancy camera angles and settings, it wouldn't really look as relatable as how it does when it uses POV. The show also uses a setting of how it does realistically in Britain. Using for example the overcast setting, the show could have chose to shoot in really nice colourful daylight sunny days, but because this is Britain and the likelihood of it being sunny is slim, the episodes are typically shot in an overcast manner, with minimal lighting effects. You may remember when The In-Betweeners came out and everybody loved it, and for those who didn't know, The In-Betweeners is another British sitcom, similar to Peep Show, and it's also really popular in the British comedy culture. But when the Americans nabbed In-Betweeners and made In-Betweeners USA, it failed. It really failed, because the show used practically all of the same jokes the UK In-Betweeners used, but they shot it in really pretty broad daylight times, which does not work. It does not feel true to life. It is not funny because the actors cannot make a good payoff to a joke, and it is not good. And it is very overly forced. This is why the small little things like relatability are crucial to making a sitcom funny, because what's the point in saying something really funny when the way they say it is poor and comes across as really forced? So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode of DECODE, and I hope you enjoyed the video talking about Peep Show and why it's funny and popular, and why the things the show utilises make it seem funnier or funnier. So yeah, see you in the next DECODE episode, guys.